All right, you cynical bastards, you ready for this? Today's story, it's going to piss you off. We're talking airport lounges, shady apps, and this woman. She got scammed out of 87,000 rupees. I mean, get ready for a wild ride, guys, through the underbelly of digital India.
It's wild, right? The story, it's like a perfect snapshot of that mix of naivete and blind trust that makes us all so vulnerable in this crazy tech-obsessed world.
Naive. You think she was naive? This woman just waltzes up to the airport lounge, flashes a photo of her credit card, and thinks everything's cool. I mean, come on.
Right. But honestly, how many of us even carry physical cards these days? We're all about that digital life, which makes us, what, prime targets for these tech-savvy scammers?
Okay, so she shows the photo, right? And the lounge staff. Instead of just laughing her out of there, they tell her, hey, download this app. It's called Lounge Pass. And get this, they make her do a face scan. For security purposes, they say.
Classic bait and switch, man. Dangle that promise of convenience lounge access and bam, sneak in a data grab with that face scan. It's brutal.
And the crazy part, she downloads the damn app. Like, we all just blindly trust anyone in a uniform, right? Especially in the airport. You're stressed, tired, just want to get to go wherever. It's like a recipe for disaster.
It's true, though. We prioritize convenience over security way too often. Click agree without reading anything, download apps without checking reviews, hand over our data without even thinking.
Here's the real kicker, though. She didn't even end up using the lounge. Just grabbed a coffee at Starbucks, went on her merry way, and meanwhile, these digital thugs, they're busy setting their trap.
This is where things get interesting, technically speaking. While she's sipping her overpriced coffee, they're probably using that app access to set up call forwarding, intercept her calls, get their grubby hands on her OTPs.
Wait, hold up. OTPs. What's that? Not everyone here is a tech genius, you know?
Right, sorry. OTP means one-time password. It's those codes you get, like through SMS or email, for verification. Supposed to be secure, but scammers have figured out how to snag them.
So picture this. This woman is dealing with a family medical emergency, her parents in the hospital, and these vultures, they're siphoning money straight from her phone pet account.
Yeah, that's the real messed up part. They prey on her vulnerability. They know she's distracted, less likely to notice something's wrong.
And the worst part? She thinks her phone's just acting up, blames it on Airtel, which, let's be real, is a pretty standard assumption for most of us, right?
Totally. They use our everyday frustrations against us, make us think suspicious activity is just normal, dismiss those red flags like they're nothing.
And by the time she realizes what hit her, boom, over 87,000 rupees, gone, vanished. Just like that.
It's a wake-up call, right? Can't be complacent in this digital age. We got to be aware, informed, and constantly on guard. This whole thing, it's a wake-up call, man. Especially about these e-wallets. Like PhonePe, they're supposed to be, what, convenient, secure? But are they really?
You're telling me we're chucking money into these apps like it's nothing. But how much do we actually know about how they keep our money safe?
That's exactly it. Most of us don't even think about it. We see the big name, the fancy ads, and we assume it's all good. But then something like this happens, and you see the cracks.
So what can we even do? Besides, like, going full-on caveman and burying our cash in a hole in the ground?
First things first, two-factor authentication. On all your financial apps, it's an extra layer of protection. So even if they get your OTP, it's harder for them to get into your account.
Two-factor what now? That's that thing where you get a code on your phone, right? See? Told you. Not a tech whiz.
Exactly. It might seem like a pain, but trust me, it's worth it. Oh, and this is important. Be super careful with any app that wants a ton of permissions. Especially screen sharing. That's a big red flag.
Right. Like, why does a lounge app need to see what's on my screen? It's just weird.
And if anyone, I don't care if they're wearing a uniform, if they try to pressure you into downloading an app or giving up personal info, push back. Ask why. Demand an explanation. It's your data. You have a right to protect it.
Damn right. We got to stop being so passive. Start questioning these people. Don't just blindly do what they say, especially when it comes to your money.
Another thing, check your statements. Like, actually look at them. Your bank statements, your app transactions. See if anything looks off. Even small amounts. Catching things early is key.
So basically, we got to become paranoid freaks, constantly checking every little thing.
Not paranoid, just aware. It's about changing your mindset. From blindly trusting to actively being cautious. Don't let convenience win out over security.
Okay, but what about the big guys, the authorities? Shouldn't they be doing more to protect us from these digital crooks?
Of course. Airports, banks,
Yeah.
app developers, they all have a responsibility to put strong security measures in place and teach people about the risks.
I mean, it's not like these scams are something new, right? It
Yeah.
feels like it's happening all the time. Somebody needs to step up and put a stop to it.
Totally agree. More accountability, stronger law enforcement, tougher punishments.
This woman's story, man, it really got to me, especially the part about her parents. Can you imagine dealing with a medical emergency and then on top of that, getting slammed with a financial scam? That's just a whole other level of stress.
It makes you think, are these scammers actually targeting people who are already going through something, like vulnerable people?
Wouldn't surprise me. They're like vultures, just circling, waiting for the perfect moment to swoop in and take advantage.
That's a dark thought, but it's possible, which
Yeah.
is why we need to step up. Protect ourselves, but also our loved ones, the people who might be more likely to fall for these scams.
Absolutely. Spread the word, share information, help each other out. Like we're all in this together, battling this army of cyber criminals.
Think of it this way. Knowledge is our weapon. The more we know about these scams, the better we can fight back.
All right, so we've talked about the bad stuff, the risks, the scumbags out there. But is there any hope? Can we actually win this war against cybercrime? So we've been talking about all this doom and gloom, the scams, how vulnerable we are, these scumbags lurking everywhere online. But is there any light at the end of this tunnel? Are we just screwed?
Look, it's not all bad. We can fight back. It starts with awareness, right? We got to educate ourselves, learn how these scammers operate, what to watch out for, and be ready to question anything that just seems off.
Right, like that old saying, trust no one? Yeah, okay, maybe not that extreme, but you know what I mean. We can't be naive anymore.
Exactly. We got to be proactive. Don't wait till you get scammed to start caring about security. It's like, wearing a helmet when you ride a bike. You might not need it every time, but when you do, you're going to be damn glad you have it.
Okay, got it, helmet analogy.
Yeah.
But seriously, what can we actually do? Give us some real advice, stuff we can actually use in our lives.
All right, first off, strong passwords. I know, it's basic, but you wouldn't believe how many people still use password 123 or their birthday. Come on, people. Use a mix of everything, uppercase, lowercase, numbers, those weird characters. And for God's sake, don't use the same password for every single account you have.
Yeah, that's like using the same key for your house, your car, and your locker. What could possibly go wrong?
Next, be careful what you share online. Think before you post personal stuff, travel plans, anything about your finances, especially on social media. Remember, these scammers, they're always looking for data they can use. They're like digital stalkers, just waiting to pounce.
So basically, treat social media like a public toilet. Get in, do what you gotta do, and get out. No need to hang out and tell everyone your life story.
And seriously, please stop clicking on random links and downloading shady apps. If something seems too good to be true, guess what? It probably is. Remember that free airport lounge access? Yeah, there's no such thing as a free lunch, especially online.
You tell them. If some random app is promising you free stuff or crazy deals, run the other way. It's probably a trap to steal your data and empty your bank account.
And if you do get scammed, don't be embarrassed to report it. Tell your bank, the app people, the cybercrime authorities. The more we report these things, the better chance we have of stopping them.
Exactly. Don't just sit there and take it. Speak up. Tell people what happened. Warn them. Like they say, a problem shared is a problem halved. Or, in this case, a scam exposed is a scammer stopped.
This woman who shared her story, she's a hero. She could have just kept quiet, but she chose to speak out, make people aware, maybe even save someone else from going through the same thing.
She's a total badass, and she reminds us that we're not alone in this. We've got each other, we've got knowledge, and we can actually make a difference.
So to all you cynical bastards out there, let's use that cynicism for good. Let's be smart, stay informed, and take action. Let's fight back against these digital predators and make the online world a safer place for ourselves and everyone else.
Damn right. We're not giving up without a fight. We're going to arm ourselves with knowledge, stay skeptical, and kick some cyber ass. Stay safe out there, and until next time, peace out. All right, you cynical bastards, you ready for this? Today's story, it's going to piss you off. We're talking airport lounges, shady apps, and this woman. She got scammed out of 87,000 rupees. I mean, get ready for a wild ride, guys, through the underbelly of digital India.
It's wild, right? The story, it's like a perfect snapshot of that mix of naivete and blind trust that makes us all so vulnerable in this crazy tech-obsessed world.
Naive. You think she was naive? This woman just waltzes up to the airport lounge, flashes a photo of her credit card, and thinks everything's cool. I mean, come on.
Right. But honestly, how many of us even carry physical cards these days? We're all about that digital life, which makes us what?